Hi, everybody. Fridays with Sandy. I'm Sandy. We've got a very exciting applicant here. His name is Jeffrey or Jeff. How do you go? Why don't
Jeff
you
is good.
introduce yourself?
Jeff is great. Yeah.
You're Jeff. And what Jeff wants is a mock interview. So we're going to go through the leading topics of mock interviews, one of which is questions about your college experience, and the other is questions about your work experience. So I think you don't have to introduce yourself. Well, introduce yourself by way of the mock interview. A very common mock interview question, particularly for HBS, is pretend it's the first day of class. How would you introduce yourself to your classmates in, like a minute?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Jeff. I'm originally from Queens, New York. I graduated from the University of Michigan just about 3.5 years ago, and I studied business administration there. Post-graduation, I've been working at PepsiCo for about the past 3.5 years. I've held a variety of roles. Currently, I'm a senior strategy analyst on the business development and acquisitions team. And then I've also held roles in sales finance, so I have some experience with P&L management as well. I worked on the supply chain FP&A team, so I have some experience with
Good. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. You're getting a little off the deep end here, but that was pretty good. You got through it. You didn't get lost. And your classmates are interested in a couple of things that you really have to highlight. Where you went, the classmates want to know where you went to college, where you worked, and in between the lines, what you can do for them. So in reality, that would probably be shorter. But that was a good answer. Frequently, they ask a question about your industry. They would say, well, could you tell me what you're doing now? That's like another very, very popular question.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm a senior strategy analyst on the business development acquisitions team. So basically what this means that whenever PepsiCo wants
I would slow it down a little bit and try and be more emphatic.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So basically what this means is that whenever PepsiCo wants to buy a company or wants to partner with with another company, my team owns a lot of the financial modeling and consolidates a lot of the information needed for our senior leadership to make a final decision.
Okay, you're good. That's good. You're sounding a little bit robotic, a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean that just a little bit. So let's try and work on that. A little bit robotic, a little bit scripted. Try and have the answers in like a me to you way, or how you would explain it to your friend. I'm a senior strategy analyst at PepsiCo, and what that means is, PepsiCo gets involved in PepsiCo looks at a lot of acquisitions or mergers or whatever the thing is, and I'm part of a X-person team where, we do the diligence for that. So, for instance, could you answer the question that way?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a senior strategy analyst for PepsiCo, specifically the beverages business. So we're a small team, and we're kind of like internal consultants for the senior leadership team whenever they want to buy another company or partner with another company.
Okay, let me say one thing very quickly. The background, this is just another column. The background we got here is a little annoying. Like, that's the chair behind you?
It's like a bookshelf.
No, there's a bookshelf to the.
Oh yeah, there's a chair behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That we'll live with that. Although it just provides a kind of a captain. The way it reads is.
That's not.
Yeah. I could live with that. What's the stuff on your right?
It's just a bookshelf. So
yeah, okay. Try and get that out of there.
Okay.
Just move your computer. We can do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's just a blank screen, and you. It's just a small issue. Good. So tell me about your decision to go to the University of Michigan. This is a popular, believe it or not, very popular interview question.
Yeah, definitely. So I had a friend that was a year older than I was that went there, and they told me a lot about the culture of the school, as well as the big sports culture, which I was pretty interested in at the time. I also knew it had a really good business program, which was something I was interested in, but also a lot of other good majors, just in case I didn't want to do business eventually.
You're not answering this in a personal and likable way. Although everything you're saying is fine. A good answer to this question is, I went to a competitive high school in wherever it was. When I was graduating, the choices of schools I had were between this, and this. Michigan got on my radar for a number of reasons. My guidance counselor suggested it. I knew people there. I had a friend there. I visited, and I liked, and then I kind of liked their programs. I did a little bit of research about their programs. You get the difference?
Yeah, definitely.
It's real important. One of their questions that throws people is, what was unexpected about Michigan when you got there?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of just assumed
that's not a good way to answer the question. This year, definitely thing. Get rid of that.
Okay. I would say the biggest thing was that I kind of assumed everyone to just be from Michigan and kind of interested in the same things, specifically sports and nightlife. But when I went there, I realized that there were a lot of students from all over the U.S. and all over the country with very diverse backgrounds and diverse interests.
So your answer is, I thought everybody. What surprised me was, I went there thinking everybody was like a jock and a sports nut, from Michigan. And I discovered that there were a lot more interesting people with different backgrounds who came from different parts of the country and weren't interested in sports. Is that kind of your answer? That's an answer the admissions committee would take offense at, even if it's true. An acceptable answer is, one of the things that was unexpected were a lot of the students were from out of state. I hadn't realized that.
Okay.
Or what was unexpected was how, that a lot of the classes my first year were, large lecture classes, if that's true. It doesn't have a reputation for that.
Okay, yeah.
So along those lines, what could you answer? It's a hard question.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that struck out to me was that there were a lot of more out-of-state kids, specifically from New York, that.
Yeah, what was unexpected? Well, there are a lot of kids from New York. That's a correct and acceptable answer.
Okay.
What was your favorite course?
My favorite course was a sports sociology class I actually took during my freshman year. It was a small discussion-based course, and I liked it a lot just because the professor talked a lot about like deeper issues within sports that I didn't really think about, and talked about just the history and the psychology behind certain sports and how it has developed over time.
Two things. You beware of coming off as a jock sniffer or a sports nut, okay? They don't like either one of those types. So, to the extent you can keep sports out of the answer, if you can, sometimes it's just the answer. The second thing is, I didn't really get what, aside from it being a sports course, you weren't able to tell me what you liked about it in some personal and exciting way. This is real important.
Mm-hmm.
Still sounding a little like you're talking, like you're giving a lecture, not answering the question personally. That is really important.
Okay, yeah.
My favorite course was, Jock Sniffing 101. What I really liked about it was a small course. There were only 30 kids, so we got to know each other. The professor was terrific. he was able to make it happen in a number of ways. He was able to call on people in class. He knew a lot about the field. There was a lot of interaction. Everybody seemed to like the class. So there were a number of things I liked about it. I wrote a paper. I got a chance to write a paper about this, and that was enlightening to me. So it was just a great class. Can you do it that way?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so my favorite course I took was a sports sociology class in my freshman year. And what I liked most about it was that the professor was really engaged and brought up a lot of great discussions regarding critical issues in sports, such as race. And I think the discussions were really, really great, and he always kept the class super engaged.
You didn't say much that convinced me it was a favorite class, or you didn't prove to me that the professor was doing anything more than any other professor does. Do you understand what I said?
Yeah. I think I need to just refine that.
Okay.
Answer.
Yeah, it's a question it's a frequent question, and it throws a lot of people. If you had your college career to do over again, what would you? Also a frequent question. If you had your career to do over again, what would you do differently?
I would say do more things that I was interested in versus doing things I thought were good for my resume. So, for example, I took a computer science class that I really enjoyed, but I ended up dropping the class after, I finished the course and ended up not taking any more just because I thought it hurt my GPA.
Don't go into this. What a rat race you are. Okay, you seem obsessed with pointing this out. But the question was, if you had college to do over again, you've got a very simple answer. I wish I took one coding course, and I wish I had taken more. It would have been really valuable. The end.
Okay.
Perfect answer. Get it?
Yeah, definitely.
Tell me what you do. You also be able to do this. Sometimes the first question is, hey, what do you do at PepsiCo?
Sorry to repeat that. That kind of cut off.
The first question often is, hey, what do you do at PepsiCo?
So currently, I'm senior strategy analyst on the business development and acquisitions team.
Look, I don't want to
Okay.
give you a hard time, but you look like you're saying, boy, that's an unfair question. What the hell are you asking me that for?
So currently we're working.
This is just body language or facial language.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see yourself. Are you on a split screen?
No, I'm just on a single screen.
You look like you're not happy to be here, and that you're not at ease answering questions, and you don't like the questions. That's try and sound more engaged and try and move around, just vary your body language. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, even moving around like that helps. This is advice for Zoom interviews. So I forget. Are you going to campus or?
I'm actually going in person.
Okay. You're going to have an opportunity to go to a class?
Yeah.
Okay, that's often the first question. Hey, what did you think of the class?
Yeah, I thought the class was really engaging and it was super fast paced. And I liked how people were able to express their ideas in a very brief way. And I think it's definitely a great environment for me to broaden my perspectives.
Okay, we don't sell and don't BS. Okay, so
Okay.
what we don't need is, it's a great environment for me to broaden my perspective. That's my second point, and the less important one. My first point is, you just kind of sound like more engaged. You go, man, the class, yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was a lot of back and forth between the professor and the students. I thought it was challenging. People often had contributions based on their actual work experience. I thought that was interesting. You get the difference in the answer?
Yeah, yeah.
Then they have a question, what could you contribute to a class environment like that?
I think I
Viz.
can.
Case method, yeah.
I think I can contribute the perspective of being inside a company versus being, I guess, like looking looking at the company from the outside. So I know there are a lot of bankers and consultants at HBS that look at the company from an external view, but I have worked closely with the day-to-day operations at PepsiCo.
Yeah, just do the positive, man. Don't say, unlike many of those frauds you have who are consultants and bankers and don't know what they're talking about. I actually know what it's like to work for a company. Okay, that's what you said. Really, I mean, just say, what I can contribute is the fact that I've worked for a leading consumer company, and I'm familiar with what goes on. You know, I could be very helpful in cases that deal with acquisitions and business development. Certainly cases that deal with the food and beverage industry, I've got an insider's knowledge on. And beyond that, I can contribute, my experience in working with, a couple of CEOs and, how finance, I know a lot about how deals get financed. So cases that deal with that are things I can contribute. You need a kind of a brag sheet. This is worth preparing.
Okay.
What you could bring to the case method. Sometimes they just say, "Why should we take you?" Which is a tough question.
Okay, got it.
Another important question that you really have to have command over is, give me a roadmap of what you want to do after Harvard Business School. What job do you want after Harvard Business School? And then what job do you want 6 or 7 years after that? And where do you see yourself at the high tide of your career?
Yeah, so in the short term, I want to work in strategy consulting. And then longer term, I would like to work in sustainability strategy. So hopefully become a director of sustainability strategy at a retail or consumer goods company.
Why?
I think CPG is the only industry that I've been in so far. So I think consulting would be a great way for me to get a chance to see different industries and work on different projects that I haven't yet. And will also help me prepare for a career in sustainability strategy, since the role is very cross-functional.
You're not convincing me you know anything about it or that you really want to do it. For one thing, where does sustainability come from in your resume?
Yeah, so I grew up visiting a lot of family in Fuzhou, China, and there are a lot of climate change issues there, specifically flooding. Some of my family members work in the agricultural field, so that was always a big story within my family. And especially over the past 3 years working at PepsiCo, sustainability has been a really big push at the company. And it's just been really interesting seeing how the company balances pursuing sustainability initiatives while keeping the company operating. So I've been able to speak to a lot of people about.
Put on your resume anyplace? Internal strategy team responsible for evaluating acquisitions, divestitures, joint ventures, and growth opportunities. Collaborate with business unit leaders to integrate new business with current product portfolio. There ain't no sustainability there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why I want an MBA, since I don't have much professional experience in the space. So I'm hoping that an MBA coupled with a career in consulting, especially at firms that.
So right now, what you're saying is, my goals are sustainability, although I have no experience with it and I don't know anything about it.
Yes, but I think that.
But that's okay, because it's a fashionable, buzzword that I hope you'll enjoy. I wouldn't say it, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
I would. You need two important things. You need your goal would be, what I want to do is be, a leader who can make a difference in, and then you have to say a blank company. okay? Whether that's a large company or a growing company or a company involved in agriculture, you've got to personalize it.
Okay.
So what's your answer to that? My long-term, my general goal is to be a leader who can make a difference in companies that blah, blah. And examples of those companies are 1, 2, 3. Everybody at home, write that down. My long-term goal is to be a leader who can make a difference in, blank type company, sort of like 1, 2, and 3. What's your answer?
Yeah, so my long-term goal is to make a difference at consumer goods and retail companies such as PepsiCo or Nike. I do enjoy the tangible aspect of the consumer goods space and the retail space. And I like being able to touch and see the products that I work on.
Okay, that's acceptable. They might say, do you know the CEO of those companies now?
I know PepsiCo, but I forgot the other one.
Yeah, that's okay. That's useful homework.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's a quiz, because you can point to them. My long-term goal is to be a leader who can really make a difference, particularly at companies in fields like this and this. I really admire Joe Blow at Nike. He's a role model for me because, see, that prepared answer can be pieced out to answer a lot of different questions in different ways. But
okay, yep.
Sometimes the question is directly, who's the CEO you admire besides your own guy there?
Yeah, I would say Yvon Chouinard of Patagonia. He's no longer the CEO, but he was a founder of the company. And I think what I admire most about him was that he really prioritized the core value of the company, despite the company growing so large and becoming so profitable.
Okay, that's an acceptable answer. They often ask a very annoying question. They say, well, what do you need now to become a leader like that guy? What would you have to learn and experience to become a leader like that guy?
I think, frankly, the first thing is more industry experience within sustainability specifically. As I said, I haven't had as much experience so far. And I think I also...
Look, my advice is, people may disagree, and you feel free to disagree yourself. My advice is get off the sustainability thing. There is no upside for you in sustainability.
Okay.
There's no upside. All it will do is say, this guy's telling us what we want to hear. You don't own it on your resume or from your experience. I'm not going to argue with you. Just take it or leave it, man. Okay.
Okay, got it.
What would you have to do or learn to become a leader like? And it also, as to the actual question, it wasn't helpful either. Okay. What would you have to do or learn to become a leader like the guy at Patagonia or gal, whatever?
Yeah, I think one way I can improve is I need to improve my storytelling skills. I think I haven't.
I don't think that's a good answer. Okay, I just don't. I disagree. I think I understand what you mean, but how about the basics? Like one of the things I'd have to do is get experience in leading people that don't report to me directly. Like when you're head of a company like that, you often have to lead people through other people. That's something I've never done. Something I've also never done is raised money and dealt with a board of overseers. That would be a skill I would have to develop. I would also have to develop skills in dealing with, financiers. And another skill I'd have to learn is risk taking. When you run a company like that, particularly a innovative, growing company, which company I'd like to be leading, you have to understand your natural instincts about taking risk and whether you're too risk averse or whether you're too much of a gambler. So those are things I'd have to learn. You get it?
Yeah.
Just frequent flyer question is similar. Tell me someone we both know that you admire besides Barack Obama.
Do you know Donald Glover? He's
Who is it?
so he's a rapper, but he also is a TV show director as well as an actor now. And I think the thing I admire most about him is that a lot of people kind of confined him as a rapper, but he has really explored a lot of different avenues and has become very like multi-talented.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It helps to do a little homework on. You should have a list of 5 people you admire, some of whom are well-known public figures, and some of whom are people in your own world. So we're going to call the rapper a public figure. I don't happen to know him, but that's, he's an acceptable choice. Okay, let's try this again since it's real important. Give me a roadmap of your career after Harvard Business School. What would you want your first job to be? What job would you want after that? And where do you see yourself, at the height of your career?
Yeah, so I think in the short term, I want to work in management consulting, and longer term, I want to become a leader that can make real change at a consumer goods or retail company such as PepsiCo or Nike. I think consulting in the short term makes sense for me since I've only been in one industry since I graduated, and I would like the chance to see other industries and develop skills that I haven't got a chance to.
Yeah, so a good first job for me would be, being in a whatever they call them, associate at one of these leading consulting companies, like McKinsey. Like working for McKinsey would be a good first job for me because I could gain a lot of general business skills, and it's a great place to network. A good job after that's the way you answer the question. And then a good second job out of McKinsey would be, and you should be able to name some companies.
Okay.
And it's worthwhile homework. Just immerse yourself in the field, and then people I admire, and then, as I said, you did more homework. You need a list of 5 or 6 people that you admire, public figures and people in your industry. Okay. Just have that ready. Don't feel the need to throw them into the conversation, but have those. You know what I mean? Just have them at hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you're not gonna. Yeah. There's another guy I really, really admire. I've forgotten his name, but I think he used to work in for a sporting company, not Nike. But I really like this guy. Okay, that's not a good thing to say, right?
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
Okay, let's leave it at that. That is your mock interview, and I think I've given you some useful homework here. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Andy.
Is there any question you got any questions for me? Like, I've always been stuck about this question or whatever.
Yeah, I think one issue I have is kind of like striking that balance between a professional answer and a real answer.
Yeah, that's the way people like you flunk interviews. They just say you're scripted. You've got to keep it conversational. Don't sell. My advice to you and to everybody else: don't sell. Don't deliver PowerPoints. Keep it conversational. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Jeff. Go and sin no more. All right. Good meeting you and good talking to you.
Thanks, Andy. See ya.
Bye-bye.